Hello, fellow educators. My name is Nathaniel Heading. I am a high school math teacher in Ohio, and I wanted to share with you a really cool way to differentiate your instruction while still in an e-learning environment. Now, I know this is a very interesting time for education. A lot of people don't have experience with e learning, so it could be very intimidating when you're asked to teach a few weeks of class in a new environment. So, I wanted to give you a very easy way to still differentiate your instruction, even though you're not present with the students in the room. Now, one of the reasons I know about this is because my goal for this year was to increase my differentiation. So I was able to go to a training at my board office about differentiation, and they gave us this idea. So this is not originally me. I just want to share with you how to do it because I thought it was really cool. So here's what I have for you. It's a Google form. And this Google form will differentiate all the instruction for me. And all I had to know was a couple things, and it's really easy to do. So I'm going to show you how it works. So this was a day of practice in class. So we did this together, and I'm going to use it online. And it was meant to help students practice factoring polynomials in Algebra 1. Now, this is one of the hardest topics we do in Algebra 1, so students really struggle with factoring. So I wanted to practice. So I wanted a kind of low practice for those who are really struggling, a mid practice for those who kind of have it but need a little more reinforcement, and then very much a high practice for those who are getting it and need to be pushed. So here's how this works. I have one question, excuse me, on this Google form. And all the students have to do is answer this, and they're given their differentiated assignment. So the question was, what was your score on the edge elastic yesterday? So before I gave this form, I had my students do an edge elastic in which I assessed their factoring abilities. And now I'm going to have them answer this question. So I'm using student data, great for your OTES. And I'm going to click the one I got. So let's say I got the first one. I hit next, and there's my assignment. So if I click on this link, it kicks me over to assignment 1. Great. Now, if I'm not assignment 1, let me show you how it works for the other one. So if I pick 4 through 6, notice it comes a different assignment 2, and I click on this link, and there's assignment 2. So Google Forms is differentiating my instruction for me. All I had to do was come up with one question that would sort my students, and then they would be assigned the appropriate task that I need them to complete. So let me show you how to do this because it's really nice. So the first thing you need to do is to come up with the different assignments you want your students to do. So this is going to take a little bit of thought on your part. So do you want this to be tiered? Do you want like a low, mid, high sort of thing? You want this to be differentiated by interest. So if you're a history teacher and you're looking at causes of World War II, you want students to research different countries. Maybe they're interested in Italy, or they're interested in Germany or Russia or Japan or that sort of thing. So maybe they could differentiate it based on interest. So you need to decide that before you make this form, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit tougher. So for me, I decided to do tiered, like I said, so a low, mid, high. And I had assignment 1 be my low, 2 mid, 3 high. Now, I don't always do 1, 2, 3 as low, mid, high because students catch on pretty quick. So sometimes I'll mix it up. I'll have assignment 2 be low, something like that. So if you're one of my students watching, it's not always that way. Anyways, once you have your assignments, I would suggest making them in Google Docs, because what you're going to do is you're going to give them a link to the Google Doc inside the form, so that way they can just open it up and go from there. So I would use Google Docs here. It's a great use, or any other links to like an Edge Elastic or to a particular video you want them to watch. So something that you can link it to on the internet, because we don't have paper in this e-learning environment right now. Once you've got all that decided, oops, move my face, we're going to make a Google form. So in your Drive, create your Google form. And we'll go ahead, just do the basics. So we'll just call this differentiation form. And we'll get to the question part in a second, because you only need one question for this entire section, or for this whole form. That's it. So before you start with the question, we'll get to that in a minute, you're going to add a section. So you see right here, we have this section button. add a section for every task you want available. So in my particular case, I had 3 assignments, so I'm going to add 3 sections. And you want to title them whatever you want to title them. So assignment 1, assignment 2, and assignment 3. So title them whatever you want. And then in the description, this is where you're going to put in your link. So you're going to put in a direction. So complete following assignment. So assignment. So I'm adding a direction. And then add a hyperlink inside of your section description of what you want them to do. So if you don't know how to do that, we'll do a very short demo on that. So here I have my assignment, my assignment 1. So you come up here to the share button, and you see how there's this anyone can view. All you have to do is click this button right here, copy link, and you're set. So I copy my link, I go to my form, I paste it, and I'm good to go. So I'll do that for assignment 2 because I've got it up. Complete following assignment. Come over here to assignment 2, share, copy link, and then I'm just gonna paste it. I'm not gonna do it for assignment 3 just for time's sake, but that's how we would do it. So now this is where we get to do the fun part. This is where the magic happens. So what you need to do back in your first section, so section 1 of whatever, in my case it's 1 of 4, you're going to create a question. So your question needs to be something that helps differentiate students. So like my question was, how did you do on the Edge Elastic? So I'm using assessment data to help differentiate my students in their self-reporting. You could also do a confidence level. So one question you could ask is, how confident are you in your factoring abilities? And you want to make sure you use a multiple choice question here. Okay, so don't use anything else. So use multiple choice here. So you can do confidence, you could use assessment data, you could use interest, any of that stuff, you can use it. Now for your responses, you need to have the same number of responses as you do assignments. So option 1, so I'm going to say how confident you. We'll say not at all. Let's say I am decent. I am good. Let's say I am not confident. Let's make that better. I'm decent. I am good. So something like that. You can change this. I would again stick with data. Now this is where the magic happens. First of all, make this required because if you don't have this question, it's not going to work. So you're going to click on these 3 dots right here. Now once you open up those 3 dots, you see this go to section based on answer. This is where the cool stuff happens. So what you're going to do is for each answer is you're going to choose where they go. So if a student is not confident, I want them working on assignment 1. So if I click on this, I see assignment 1 is listed right here. So I'm going to go to assignment 1. And for I'm decent, we'll go to assignment 2. And for I'm good, assignment 3. And you're set. If you give this to your students, they're ready to go. However, there's a catch. One thing you have to do before you give it to your students is you have to change the end result. So what could happen if a student gets to assignment 1 and they push the next button, they'll also see assignment 2 and assignment 3. We don't want that. We only want them to see one assignment. So here's how you make sure they only see the assignment you want. So below each of these sections you added, you see this option right here. It says after section 2, what you want to do, instead of continue to next section, you want to hit this submit form button. Okay, so you see how now my after section 2 says submit form. What that does is it makes it so that only students can see one assignment and then they have to submit. And then same thing for assignment 2. So you go to submit form, and now all they can see is that one assignment that we want them to do. And then assignment 3 doesn't have to because it's the end. So you're ready to go. All you have to do is assign this to your students. We'll do a little preview. Send this to your students and they're ready to go. So they say, I'm decent, hit next, and boom, there's the assignments. They can open it up in Docs. There's our link, assignment 2, and they can submit. Now, here's just a teacher tip I would give you. If you're doing this using your school Google account, which more than likely you are, I would go under your settings and collect email addresses. Okay, collect email addresses. That way, you can collect your students' names. And once they hit submit, so you see how at the end here I'm done, they push submit. What it will do is it will send you their name, what they picked, so you know what assignments they are looking to get. Okay, so you should be getting assignment 2 from Johnny, you should be getting assignment 3 from Sally, that sort of stuff. So that is an easy way to differentiate your instruction using a Google form. So if you need any help or need any advice, I plan on posting my folder with this polynomial activity later, probably not soon because I wanted to get this out there for people to start using quickly. So best of luck. If you need help, feel free to tweet at me. I'll be sending this out on my Twitter. If you want to email me, that sort of thing, feel free. I'll get back to you. Thanks. Bye.